Hey y'all, and welcome back to my channel. In this tutorial, we are going to layer some TECKWRAPCRAFT vinyl on top of this glass can globe mug from Tipsy Magnolia. I do apologize, I'm doing a voiceover this time, although I had planned on doing a real-time video. Things were said that probably are not so appropriate for kids to hear, and I know a lot of your babies watch my channel. So my hand movements are not going to line up with what I'm saying, but that is okay. We're filtering it because glitter globes are 100% Brittany's weakness. Our glitter globe mug is from Tipsy Magnolia. It comes with a stopper for the bottom side, so you don't even have to worry about putting epoxy to seal anything in on the bottom. You totally can because there is an indent, but it is not necessary because that stopper keeps it super secure. The vinyl we're using is TECKWRAPCRAFT, and this pearlescent vinyl is absolutely beautiful, as well as our shimmer vinyl. I love all of these colors, and not only do they cut really well to have the texture with them or on them, but they also keep their luster and shine underneath epoxy. If you use epoxy as well, then you know that is super important when applying vinyl to our tumblers, because the last thing that we want is for it to change colors or lose its shine, shimmer, or luster under our epoxy. Now we saw all of our materials, let's head over to Creative Fabrica. If you do not have a Creative Fabrica subscription, I highly encourage getting one because it has saved me a tremendous amount of money. I can find near anything and everything that I can think of on this platform, and it costs me a very small monthly fee where I would be paying full price for all of these files elsewhere and losing that money if the files didn't necessarily work out for my design. I do have a link down below for y'all in case you want to give Creative Fabrica a try or sign up for a better deal than you already have. You do get 10 free downloads or your first month free, whichever comes first. After you have downloaded your file from Creative Fabrica, you want to upload it to Design Space or Silhouette. Do not use the PNG file. You want to select SVG. Most of these are going to be layered for you. Go ahead and resize it to whatever size you're needing for your tumbler or your mug, whatever your project is that you're working on. Then you can right click on the file and ungroup them. That is going to create a bunch of separate groups of images. And once you send them over to your cutting mat by the Make button, it's going to have them all separated by color. So you can coordinate the vinyl that you have to those on the mat. And if you do want to change any of the colors and coordinate them to your vinyl, all you have to do is head up to the top left where it says Basic Cut. There's a little color square right beside of it, and you can change your color there. Now that everything is ready to cut, I'm going to trim all of my vinyl to 5 inches so they're all the same size, and I'm going to leave them at the 12-inch length. Since these are a specialty vinyl and the glitter or the shimmer vinyls are a little bit thicker than your standard, I am going to use the Strong Tack Matte from TECKWRAPCRAFT. I do have an off-brand strong tack as well as a Cricut brand, and for whatever reason they seem to be almost too tacky. So my vinyl backing will stick to it or I'll have trouble with it, but the TECKWRAPCRAFT is just the perfect tackiness to where it really holds your vinyl down and it doesn't hold it too much to where it's hard to pull it off, if that makes sense. All of the pearlescent vinyl, I cut it on the Vinyl Plus setting just to cut a little bit deeper so those fine details are easy to weed. And then on the shimmer vinyl, I used the light cardstock setting. I was having a little bit of trouble getting those tiny dots off after I got about halfway through this sheet of vinyl, so I grabbed my TECKWRAPCRAFT weeding tool. It actually has two other ends that go on it. Both of those are at an angle, but I chose to use the straight one because that's just what worked best for me. Since there are super fine details in the shimmer vinyl pink, I did have a little bit of a hard time seeing that, but that's just because I can't see. So I ended up turning the lights off and grabbing my light pad, and that really helped sort of illuminate those cut lines so I could see it a little better. It is hard to see as well on camera here, but it did make it a whole lot easier for me in person to see those cut lines and pull out those tiny little pieces. Once we had all of our vinyl weeded, I took out my TECKWRAPCRAFT transfer tape. I cut out a strip that's going to fit right over top of our vinyls so that we can layer these up on the light pad. To make this pretty simple, I just grabbed my two purples because I knew that those went together. I was going to find the lines on those really easily. So I went ahead and got the two purples and layered those up. And then we'll do the green and pinks because those also go together. The pinks go at the end of those green stems. And then we'll come in and layer our yellow, since those are the dots in the center of our flowers, which will help us line up our final color blue. If you don't have a light pad, you can do this over a window or by a really bright light. Just have it on a bright white surface and it will really help you be able to see the other color through the vinyl. So I'm going to go ahead and attach this vinyl to my transfer tape and then we will line it up on top of our other purple. I'm not going to lie, I don't know what I was thinking on a couple of these. I am super tired. If you cannot hear that in my voice, I don't know what is going on. Maybe it's the spring weather and allergies, but I am tired and my brain just was not functioning properly. The next that we're going to do again is our green and pink. I'm doing this one because the stems of our green are going to line up with the pink flowers at the end of them. So it'll be really easy to line this one up, and it'll kind of tie everything together once we put our yellow dots on here. I am applying this one using the hinge method like I should have in the last one. And it worked a whole lot better, aside from a couple of those green sticking to the backing of the transfer tape, because I did not rub it down before I started removing that back. I know. Come on, Brittany, what are you doing? I'm going to place my transfer tape on our yellow dots next, and then I cut off a little strip of the backing so that my transfer tape would attach to the sheet of pink. That way, once again, I can use the hinge method to press these down on top and get them right in place after I have it lined up on my light pad. If you're having difficulty pulling the backing off of your vinyl without removing the vinyl, take a squeegee tool and press as you pull back that backing, and it will help press the vinyl down onto the transfer tape as you're removing the backing. Now that this piece is on, we have the center spots for our purples and our blues, so we can go ahead and add them in behind it. Now to apply this to our mug, I trimmed off a little bit of that back to expose some of the sticky. I'm going to line it up on our mug, press that exposed portion down, and then I will work my way around to remove the backing and then remove the transfer tape. Now all of our vinyl is on, we're going to press it down really well and give it a little while to sit before we start adding a liquid inside, because we don't want any of this liquid to get underneath our vinyl and damage it. So I did let this sit for a couple of hours, and then I'm going to add in about 3/4 of a bottle of vegetable glycerin and then top it off with a little bit of distilled water. Once we have it shaken up a bit, I'm going to put a little bit of the solution down into our cup. This will help the glitter start settling into the solution. If you put your glitter in first, then a lot of times it can get stuck at the top and it will be really difficult to get that to kind of flow around with your vegetable glycerin and distilled water. So I'm going to take Litty Titty from PDB Creative Studio and put in a pretty good bit of this glitter. I really want it to be thick, so I'm going to use a good bit. However, I am going to kind of cut it short just a little bit, because once we finish putting our solution in, we're going to fill in that air pocket at the bottom with our glitter rather than having to stress over filling it up with the solution. Once we have a good bit of glitter in there, I'm going to shake it around to get that glitter mixed in with our solution and then fill it the rest of the way up. Once you get to the point to where it's getting difficult to add more solution in there without it coming out of the top, give it a knock on the table a couple of times to try to get that bubble to pop right at the part where you're putting your solution in. Once you have maxed out what you can put in there, then we're going to take some glitter, pile it up around the top of that hole, and try to press the glitter down in to the solution. After you've pushed a good bit down in there, turn your mug to where the bubble is right there at the hole at the top, and then use your finger to create a suction, and it will pop and allow some of that glitter and solution to fall back down into the center of the tumbler, getting rid of some of that bubble. And if you continue to repeat these steps just for a couple of minutes, then you'll eliminate that bubble inside. You can see as I'm tapping my finger right over that hole, it is pulling the glitter and solution down inside the cup. Once you feel you have gotten to the point to where there is no more room inside, or you're not going to be able to get rid of any more of that bubble, which will be very small at that point, go ahead, put your finger over the hole, wash the tumbler off, that way you get rid of all that solution, and then pop the stopper in. Clean it off, give it a good shake to make sure that it is secure on the bottom, and you are done. There's no sealing to this. Like I said, our vinyl that we used from TECKWRAPCRAFT is permanent vinyl, and there's no need to seal the stopper in on the bottom. I hope that y'all have enjoyed this tutorial. As always, all materials that I have used will be listed in the description below for you. Don't forget to hit that like button if you enjoyed it, and subscribe to our channel. That is all for today. Thank you all so much, and we will see you next time.